Hello everyone, welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about a couple tips that will help you play a lot more like a pro and just be better overall in Apex Legends Season 4. So before I get into the video, I do want to say that I hope you guys all had a nice Easter, and I hope you guys are staying safe. There's been a lot going on in the world, so I just hope you guys are staying home and practicing some safe habits. So I also want to thank all the new subscribers, and I just want to say that I think about 93% of you guys are still not subbed. So if you're seeing this and you're not subbed, just drop a sub, it helps me out a ton. So let's get right into the video with the first tip. I don't know how many tips I'm going to do. I'm just going to rattle off a couple of them. And, you know, these tips are definitely going to help you if you're not already doing them. Some will be advanced, some will be a little bit more beginner. So we're going to start off a little bit more with the beginner side tips, and that is armor swapping and just quick looting. So a lot of times I've been in games where players were stuck in boxes, and I've been able to destroy them and punish them for it, and just kill them really quick because they're obviously not moving, they're stuck in a box, and they usually panic, so they usually just die instantly if I catch someone in a box. So you don't want to be one of those guys that's just looting forever and, you know, gets caught in a box by the third party, because we all know how common third parties actually are. So you just want to be aware that there's probably going to be a third party coming, and you want to just wrap up your looting. You want to loot very quickly, very tactically, you know, grab what you almost want to always keep in the back of your mind what you need. You know, at all times in a game, I know exactly what I don't have a lot of, whether it's ammo, whether it's shield batteries, cells, you know, syringes, whatever it is. I know exactly what I need in terms of attachments and, you know, consumables. And this helps me a lot in terms of, you know, being able to loot quickly, because I can go into someone's box, and if I need shield batteries, I just go straight to the shield batteries and then look at the attachments I may need, stock up on ammo, and then I'm gone. You know, so I'm able to loot very, very quickly, and it helps me out a lot because I'm more prepared for a third party if it comes, and I'm literally in and out of boxes in less than 5 seconds. So it not only allows me to get higher kill games, but it also prevents possible third parties from catching me off guard, because I'm usually on top of it. So another thing I want to double back on was the armor swapping. So armor swapping is a very effective method, and it can be done extremely quickly. You might want to practice because it can be a little bit difficult to navigate the inventory fast, but if you can get it down to a science and you armor swap mid-fight, it will almost save your life like 80% of the time. So armor swapping is extremely useful, especially mid-fight. If you see a death box, you know there's armor in it. You know, keep a mental note of what's in each box. Just keep that kind of stuff in the back of your mind. I promise you guys, it's only going to help you. So if you keep in the back of your mind that there was like a blue or purple shield in one of the boxes, you know, armor swap it mid-fight, and just like that, you have 75 to 100 more HP. So even like a gray shield, like right off spawn, if you have a gray shield, you know, some dude cracks it and you're fighting him, and you armor swap with another gray shield, it's basically the same thing as you having purple shield at the start of that fight, because you had 250s, which obviously equals 100. So it really can change a fight so much if you armor swap. I've seen it save people's lives tons of times, and it saved my life more times than I can even count. So the next thing I want to talk about is just mechanical skills. Obviously, if your mechanical skills are lacking a little bit, you're not going to see as much success. And what I mean by mechanical skills is things like aim, things like movement. So one thing that's going to dramatically change your gameplay and literally improve you instantly is strafing. So obviously you guys know what strafing is, and if you don't, it is just moving while you're shooting. A lot of times it's back and forth, left to right, you know. And this will save you a lot because it's going to enable you to get hit much less. And after the nerf to low profile, it's very, very important for them to miss shots. So if you're throwing a little crouch spam into it and strafing back and forth while you're reloading, so you don't mess up your aim, you are going to see so much more success in gunfights, and you're going to be winning your 1v1s much, much more, which is so integral in this game. It's such a very important part of being actually a good player, is winning your ones and being able to take as little damage as possible. So the other part of mechanical skill is obviously aim, and if you guys are not great with aiming, I would suggest just going into the firing range and practice. The firing range is a very useful resource that you guys can use, and some of the targets in the back are pretty hard to hit, especially with like the R9. A lot of times I practice with an R9 on the farthest target with no stabilizer, and that way, you know, if I can hit it with an R9 no stabilizer from that far away, then I will most likely be able to hit most targets. And the target's obviously moving, so it helps my aim out a lot, and I use it to warm up usually. So this also improves my aim overall, and I think it's very, very useful not only warm up but just practice if your aim isn't like perfect, and no one's aim is perfect, but this will definitely improve your aim a lot. So definitely, if you're not using it, try out the firing range. Even try to 1v1 people in the firing range. That'll make you better as well in your 1v1s. So just practice your movement, practice your strafing while fighting, and practice your aim, and you will get better immediately. And the next thing I want to talk about is positioning. Positioning is also very, very important, and this is going to shift any fight in your favor almost every single time. So, there have been times where I've been fighting someone, and even if I was losing, if I just switched my positioning, maybe I sat on a head glitch or took high ground during the fight, my advantage in winning was now like doubled. So my chances of winning went way up now because I have a better position that gives me a much higher advantage on this player. And you can do that mid-fight or you can do it before the fight, but you always want to be thinking about what's your best positioning. So like whether it's on a head glitch, behind a rock where you have a lot of cover and you could just spray people down, or if it's on high ground where you have a great angle on somebody, you almost never really want to be low ground, and you just want to think about your positioning before you engage a fight. Just think, is this going to work? Do I have a great angle on this guy? Is he even going to be able to do anything about it? Because if you have a hemlock single fire on a head glitch, you're just going to run someone over. Or, if you have G7 on high ground, you're going to do the same thing. So, and it's very hard to fight against that as well. So they're at an immediate disadvantage, and it doesn't even matter how good the player is. They can have aim that's so much better than yours, but if you have that angle and you have that high ground, you're going to destroy them 9 times out of 10 if you just capitalize on that. So positioning is always such an important thing in every single game you'll play. You can improve your positioning by watching some of the better players. They always practice good positioning. You'll see it amongst every single player. Sometimes the pro level players are so good that they sometimes are out of position, and it kind of something they do might not actually work for you. So just be careful when you're watching someone like Aceu, who's insanely mechanically gifted, because that gives you kind of a false representation of how you should play, because he makes very, very dangerous and reckless plays, but his mechanical skill is so good that he's able to bail himself out and create these flashy plays, and realistically, that's just not going to be possible for most of you. And that's understandable. I mean, he's an incredible player, but you just don't want to follow some of the things he may do. If Aceu is in a public match, running up against some normal kids, he's going to put himself out of position and in dangerous spots a little bit of the time. And that's just because, like I said before, his mechanical skill is so good. So you just want to watch more ranked gameplay if you want to see, like great positioning, just because people aren't going to be out of position as much, especially in the higher tier of ranked. I know I would never be out of position in like a Predator game, just because people always will punish you if you are even like 10 feet out of position. You can get punished so hard. So just be careful with that, and overall positioning is so important that if you guys are not already familiar with it, or if you're just running around with no intention or no idea what you're doing, chances are your gameplay is going to be significantly better if you just start practicing good positioning and just thinking a little bit, and just seeing what some of the better players do. So the next thing I want to talk about is just decision making and game sense. And decision making is something I do all the time. It's something I'm constantly doing during the game, and this is probably one of the most important tips I can give you guys, but it's also one of the hardest ones to perfect. So basically what I mean by decision making is you have to be thinking constantly. You have to be plotting out your next move and thinking in your mind, like, is this actually going to work? If I do this, what's going to happen after that? And when you do that, you can successfully plan out how you're going to attack and what your best options for success are. So in the game I am showing on the screen, in the end I actually come up with an insane clutch, and I'm able to do that by playing extremely slow. The entire end game I was just kind of running around, rotating around each team, just thinking about how I would get pinched, or what would happen if I stayed in one position or if I moved to another. And I was just weighing my options the entire time, and I ended up being able to like 1v5 clutch it, just because of me thinking what's going to be best, when I should actually take action and fight, or when I should hide. Just by doing simple things like that, and running that over in your head before you actually do it. you'll save yourself so much, so many games. You'll be able to win more. You'll be able to do better in your gunfights because you'll be taking more smart battles. And this is what no doubt helped me win this game. Was just playing very slow, thinking a lot about what would happen if I did something and not doing anything that would punish me severely. So decision making is one of the most important things, because if you don't know what you're going to do next and you're just running around with no plan, you're going to do bad. So I guess moral of the story is, guys, always have a plan. And even if it's not a very good plan, any plan is better than no plan. So you want to keep that in the back of your mind, that if you have, even if the plan isn't great, it's not great, it's better than nothing. But just run it over in your head. If you're 2v3, you guys are running from the storm and you're going to attack a squad that you don't need to. Obviously you want to run that over in your head and think, what, that's kind of stupid. Maybe I should think of another plan. Maybe I should do something else, because that's probably not going to work. So just run it over in your head a little bit, think about it, and you got to make decisions quickly, obviously, because as you guys know, this game is very fast-paced, and a couple seconds could be the deciding factor. So you just want to be quick with your decisions and be accurate and think them over, think about your consequences, so on and so forth. So the last thing I want to talk about is picking your battles. And this kind of goes with decision making, but I just want to go a little bit more in depth with it. This is basically knowing when to fight, knowing when to leave. And this is where a lot of people struggle. I feel like a lot of people feel like, when the third party comes, they're like, oh man, get ready for the third party. In all reality, you don't have to get ready for the third party. You can leave. There is no one stopping you from leaving at any point. So don't have that kind of mindset where, you're unable to leave a fight. If you can leave, get out of there. If a third party's coming and you guys are in bad shape, try to get out of there. That's not a great battle to take. There's no reason to be getting ready for that fight and trying to take it when you're one teammate might be down, the other one's weak, you're weak, and there's a full team pushing you with full health. They're probably going to win, so chances are you just want to leave. And that goes for even if you're not getting third partied, even if you're going to push a third party. Look for knocks. If one team gets completely rolled over, but you just heard shots and you're going to run at them when now they have all of this loot and you have gray shield, chances are you're going to lose. So you just want to pick and choose your battles. You don't want to be fighting too much. And also keep in mind that if you're fighting in a place like Fragment, you just almost have to expect you're going to be third partied. So unless you're incredibly gifted with mechanical skill, you probably just want to leave after your first engagement, because there's going to be team after team rolling up on you. So you want to keep that in the back of your mind, as well as just where you're located and how hot that area actually is. So this will help you and save you a lot of time, because if you are constantly thinking oh man, we're going to get rotated on from, I saw a team at the bottom of Fragment and there's a team behind us, you just want to keep that in the back of your mind, because if you know that kind of stuff, you can safely disengage from the fight and wait for them to fight maybe, and then third party that. So just playing safe like that, and knowing when to fight and picking and choosing your battles will save your game 9 out of 10 times, because if you push a stupid fight, you're probably going to die, and if you stay in a stupid fight, you're also going to die, whereas if you leave, you have another chance to live, and that's always going to be much more valued than just going down without a fight. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope some of these tips can help you guys out, because I do want to see a lot of you guys succeed. I hope you guys get better at Apex. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.